Another episode of the Coming Soon podcast with Spider.
Hello, everybody. Spider here, Coming Soon podcast, coming to you once again, being joined by Martin Trejo. My man, how are you doing today, sir?
So, brother. Yeah, today went really well. Like I said, just got home from work. This traffic here is literally insane.
And of course, I mean, you are local to San Antonio, man, born and raised, correct?
Yes, sir. I went to Gleto Rodriguez Elementary and then Rand Middle School and then Kennedy High School.
Oh, bro. Okay, I went to Kennedy my freshman year, so we got that in common. That's pretty cool.
What year was it?
Don't ask me that, brother. Don't ask me that. No, I'm old, dude. I turned 50 this year, man. So my freshman year was 86, 87.
That's insane. You don't look 50 at all, man.
No, and I still got my hair. I just put a hat on it, man. So I'm good. But yeah, man. I mean, of course, after that, you know, my family, they sold the home. We moved up to Woodlawn Park area, so I went to Jefferson High School the remainder of my years. But yeah, I mean, I'm on the west side now. I'm over here by St. Mary's University. So
St. Mary's. Oh wow, because I know there's two campuses, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. I grew up on the one next to the one that looks like an architectural building. They kept all the old stuff. Yeah, my dad still lives by there.
Oh, okay. So you still got family out here?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nice, bro. And of course, I mean, you mentioned traffic, man, and you're in the business of why we have traffic, bro. Let me say that because you're you're a realtor, man. So there's all these houses. I mean, of course, after COVID, I would say the housing business blew up. You know,
Those
people
2 years,
here
yeah,
from
they weren't supposed to happen. But I mean, it's good it did in a sense of economics for San Antonio. San Antonio is just growing, man. It's insane.
No, for sure. I agree. I mean, there's, I still contract. I deliver furniture. I'll say that. But I mean, I've driven all over the city. You know, I always tell people. I mean, me driving where people are like, "Oh, I'm on this site," and Google Map can't even find it because these subdivisions were popping up left and right. And me thinking like, man, there's nothing but trees out there, and I'm driving for like 2-3 miles, and then you see a subdivision.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm kind of grateful that I was able to see a lot of that growth because if it wouldn't have been for that, I wouldn't have seen how big San Antonio got, man. Because there's a lot of people moved out here. Let me say that.
And more people are still just coming in. That's why it was funny. There's this joke that we have. It's like you can't complain about traffic because that's just more people looking to buy houses.
No, for sure, man. You see, and I mean, for you guys, it's definitely good business, bro. I mean, well, one of the things I personally like about it because I mean, I'm involved in, when it comes to conventions and film and martial arts. So a lot of people from all walks of life moved over here from California, from other states. So we got different instructors, we got different filmmakers, we got different. So it kind of, it's a good thing. We're able to work with different people now.
I think that's one of the benefits of what changed the game because obviously I've been in the industry since I don't even know, like 2014, I think. And I remember people would always say, "Oh, if you want to like actually do something, you have to get out of San Antonio." It was always like Austin or Dallas.
Oh yeah.
And then Austin died out, and then it was just Dallas, and then like Houston, and then it was just Dallas, and then after all this happened, it's like now the industry here is just growing exponentially, especially with all these production companies coming down from California, Oregon, and stuff.
No, for sure, man. And like you said, I mean, people are still buying, right? I mean, you guys are staying busy.
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
Now, let me ask you, bro, because of course, having gone to Kennedy High School, I mean, growing up out here on this side of town, when it came to sports, I mean, were you involved in sports growing up?
I wasn't until because my dad was always like a huge football fan, and I know a lot of people hate me for this, but I'm not a Cowboys fan because I was raised on the Broncos. They were just a huge John Elway fanatic. So of course everybody's always booing me when I want to watch the Broncos play. I didn't get into sports until middle school. I used to be a little heavy set kid. I was short and just super chubby, and then it wasn't until middle school I started getting serious about football. And track, and then high school came, and I just had that growth spurt, and I was losing weight, and then of course the attention is different. I had a lot of people wanting to fight because I don't know, that's just the thing you do when you're in school. But yeah, I was playing football, and then I was getting serious about football. Had some potential entries to different colleges, and then I don't know. I really thought about it, and I was like, I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life because I wasn't that serious about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Man, okay.
So yeah, I was doing that for a while. And then of course, like I said, track and stuff. And I did golfing for 2 weeks, and
Oh,
then,
really?
I couldn't do it, dude. That's the frustration. My golf club literally swung out of my hands, and I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me.
Man, I'll say this. I used to work, but I worked for Academy Sports and Outdoors for years, bro. Like going on 20 years, part-time, seasonal. I mean, I always loved my discounts when I worked there part-time.
Oh yeah,
But at one point, I mean, I was actually good friends with the DM. You know, he was in charge of Academy Sports from here to Houston, Dallas, all the way up north. But for some reason, he liked me, man. So every time there was a convention, there was a golf tournament, he would always invite me. He'd be like, "Hey, Gray, you know, I want you to go." And here I am, a part timer, but people used to kind of joke around and say he was my uncle. So I kind of went along with it. So every time I did, oh, it's my uncle Greg, but yeah, good guy, man. But yeah, I mean, we did the golf thing. There was a guy that worked at Academy that I still know. He's a knucklehead, older gentleman, older than me, right? But he would always get frustrated because we go and we're like, dude, we don't know how to play, so we're hitting the ball everywhere, but where it's supposed to, and it's just one of those sports. I would say that you need patience, man, and I don't have it. I'll say
I'm
that.
getting into it now again only because my girlfriend loves it. And I was like, you know what? Obviously, as you heard, like deals are made on the golf course. It's like I should probably learn this. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this: have you gotten better?
Not really.
Man, I'll probably start with the little mini golf. I'll probably hit those up for a while.
Yeah, me
Just
too.
to get some practice. But yeah, man. But of course, sports now. Fast forward, man, because of course, you did attend college. Of course, was that here in Texas?
Yeah, I went to Texas State for a bit, and it didn't really because I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was like a weird. I wanted to pursue psychiatry. I've been fascinated about the human mind, all that stuff for a long time, and then a lot of things started changing during that time. This was like one of the first times where people were talking about how college was not the way to go.
Yeah.
So it was very conflicting because I'm like, am I doing the right thing or am I not? And then that's when I had this modeling opportunity also come up at the same time. And I just took that as a sign. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go do that instead. And then that started off a whole different journey that I never thought I would be on ever. I mean, like I said, I grew up a fat, short kid. Like I never thought like, oh, maybe I can get into the modeling world. Like, no. So that taught me a lot real quick.
Man, okay. And I mean, did that take you outside the state, outside the country? I mean, how far did that take you?
In the beginning, no, because I still wasn't 100% on it. I mean, I didn't take it seriously. I was like, what is this? It just failed. It was just such a different world. I was like, nah, like, I don't care. I don't care about the way I look. I'm not taking care of my hair the way I'm supposed to. It's just like little things. I was jumping around a bit, in different states just to check out the places. I think my favorite I love New Mexico a lot.
Nice.
And then the furthest place it did take me was Los Angeles, that's for sure. We went to California. I was there for about 2 years. I love Newport. Newport was amazing. I was signed with a management company, and that's why I started getting more serious into acting stuff. Acting came up, and I was like, I've never done that before. So then that's when I did the 2 Netflix pilots that didn't go anywhere. I had meetings with an agency in Montreal if I wanted to keep pursuing acting, and I was like, you know what, I think it's time to have that transition. Like, why not? You know what I mean? And then that's when the pandemic and all that stuff happens.
Yeah, and I did the same thing. I mean, I actually went to a few auditions before COVID, and I mean, of course, I went to go try them out because I had never done it. So I said, you know what? I went to Austin for one. One was here by downtown, but COVID happened, and I just I stayed busy for the most part. Like I mentioned earlier, I was doing contract delivery, so people were at home, working from home, and they were ordering stuff online, so I was dropping it off, right? But yeah, it's just something that happened, and I always tell people because I do interview people from outside the state, outside the country, and for some reason, I mean, the epidemic always comes up because it did affect a lot of people, like
It was a
worldwide.
crazy time, yeah.
Yeah, so when I tell them that I'm like right down the road from where it started, I mean, as far as Lackland Air Force Base, right? Those people that are there, they went to North Star Mall, they closed everything from one day to the next. It was like everything's closed, which was it's still a shock because they were like, man, they shut down the whole world, man. That was insane.
I remember I didn't want to go anywhere because I was living in Costa Mesa at the time because I had to take a break from Los Angeles. I just needed to get out of the city. Like, I love California. I just did not like Los Angeles. It's not my vibe. And I was like, I need to take a break. I was working as a bartender at this fishing place in Costa Mesa. And all of a sudden, that's when like, hey, they're shutting everything down. I was like, no, I'm not leaving. Like I worked way too hard to be where I'm at, kind of thing. And then like there literally was nothing. The whole industry shut down. Restaurants were shutting down. I was like, I'm just gonna end up on the street if I stay here. So I ended up coming back to Texas against my will. And I mean, it worked out for the best. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people probably learned about themselves during that period because I mean, there's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
to do.
No, for sure, man, because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you're good at one thing and they take that away, then what else can you do? You know, and
Oh yeah, man. I was definitely in a position. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. It's a lot of self growth and reflection.
and I'm 50 and I still don't know what I'm doing, bro. So it's
That's all right.
hopefully you'll find it soon enough. But let me ask you, let me backtrack a little bit because earlier you mentioned that you had a growth spurt, man. How tall are you, bro?
I'm 6'2" right now.
Okay, and when you grew, I mean, was that over summer or was it during the school year?
I swear, I don't know why it happened. I just remember I was in sixth grade and I was still hanging out with my same friends. And then they would always make comments because, like I said, people just wanted to start fighting me all of a sudden. And I was like, why? I was like, I don't do anything to anybody. I was like, I'm such a nice guy. And then my friends would be like, dude, what the heck? Like, none of your clothes is like fitting you. Like, what are you doing? It wasn't until I looked in the mirror with my friend, I was like, damn, bro, you got short. He's like, you got tall.
Damn.
And I was just 6'2" all of a sudden. I was like, well, that would explain why everybody else just felt intimidating, why to fight me all the time.
You always want to take out the big guy, man. Prove a
For real,
point. You
dude.
know?
But so yeah, that was a whole different thing.
No, no, for sure. And let me ask you, man. I mean, during that time, I mean, did you ever consider? I mean, have you taken like martial arts, boxing, any type of self
I was
defense?
gonna I took kickboxing a little bit because I did go to San Antonio College for about a year, and I was taking kickboxing. And it was awesome. It was fun. And even now, it's like because I work out consistently now, but I'm just kind of getting bored of the same gym stuff, and I would want to like I have a couple friends that are in jiu-jitsu, and I don't know, I'm just kind of looking at different avenues. I just want to start getting into some type of like technique fight.
No, no, for sure, man. And you plateau. I mean, that's the thing with workouts. You know, I mean, for me, I'm more, and it doesn't look like it, but I mean, when it comes to what I do, it's a lot of drills. I do a lot of isometrics, plyometrics. I'm more for longevity, I guess, when it comes to strength. I don't want muscle. I want something that's gonna
Dang,
keep
it's
going.
like I'm getting more into full functionality because I want to be able to just be healthy when I'm 80 and still be able to like run and do stuff. Like I'm not focused on the numbers anymore. Like who cares? Who gives a shit that I can bench press a freaking refrigerator? I don't care. I just want to be, you know what I mean? I just want to keep myself healthy.
No, I had a co-worker at the post office, and he was a big dude, man. Never did leg day, real skinny legs, right? But
That's like,
one day we're talking, he was like, "Man, I can bench press like 360, man. I bet you I could, like he was talking like because I was teaching jujitsu at the time, ironically, right? I was doing Brazilian jujitsu, and he was like, "Oh man, I bet you I could, you don't want you don't want none of this." And I was like, "Bro, what are you gonna do? Like bench me to death? Bench me to death?" I was like, "Come on, I'll break your arm, bro," and it's just funny, but yeah, it's true, man. I mean, not to knock, people out there that work out because yeah, it's
no,
like
you
if I
like
could
do
do
your
that,
thing.
then great, but that's just not for me. I'd rather just be
Exactly.
able to keep moving. But you're talking about you don't want to be staying in shape, man. Yeah, I would say as long as you keep stretching, bro, because that's one of the things you don't think about till you get older, and you're like, damn, everything starts getting a little tight. But
That's my biggest flaw right now. It's like literally my girlfriend has to remind me consistently. She's like, you need to keep stretching. And I'm like, dude, just so bad at it. Like, I know it only takes like 10 to 15 minutes, but for some reason, I just don't even think about it.
no, no, yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, in jujitsu, I mean, you probably get a kick out of it because they do a lot of I think it's rodandis. I think it's tumbling, but a lot of for the hips, for the back, and it's just like full body,
Oh,
man. But it's
yeah.
it's the same. Like people talk about yoga, and they're like, man, it gives you a workout, and it's because you're concentrating and breathing, and your whole body, your muscles need to breathe, man. They got to get that blood
Oh,
circulation.
yeah. It makes complete sense. Like, my jiu-jitsu friends are, like, some of them don't even look like they work out, but I know for a fact they can kick my ass. You know what I mean?
And I got one right here that I think he just challenged you, bro. Marcos Davila. He wants to go ahead. He wants to roll. I think he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He might know a thing or two, man. We'll see. We'll see. We'll save it for a movie. Let's put it that way, man. Do a fight. But yeah, man. But of course, let me ask you now. As of now, because when to become a realtor, I mean, of course, you have to go to school. So where did you go to school at?
I went to the one, it's probably the most standardized one that everybody goes to here in San Antonio. It's called Champions.
Yeah.
It's basically like you ask anybody, they're like, oh, yeah, I went there. And I mean, yeah, it took a lot of time to do, a lot of tests and stuff like that. But it's definitely one of those things where people would tell you, it's like, don't worry about some of the stuff because none of it's going to exist or matter when you're actually doing the job. And I get it because it's more of it's definitely a people job. You know what I mean? A very personable thing. It's like a lot of people say that we're not really realtors, we're people's therapists because we literally go through every single up and down with them the entire way.
Nice.
And it gets intense sometimes.
And I was gonna say, you went to Champions Realty, man. Did they give you a belt when you guys graduated, or no? Like a championship belt, nothing like that?
Should have. That would have been cool.
I would have gone just for that, just to get that strap, dude. But yeah, bro. But Realtor, man, how long have you been in the business?
About 2.5 years.
Okay. And this is as far as San Antonio only, or do you guys branch out?
We kind of touch as far as, because I mean, of course, there's a specific way that they have different boards on how far you can go. That's why we kind of just refer everybody out. But the farthest we can go is basically Austin, and then like the Seguin area, New Braunfels, and all of that.
Oh, okay. But you still get around though, right? I mean, you still get to travel and hit up other counties.
Counties, yes. Again, it just depends. Like obviously, different cities, it depends. Also, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's really weird, but you'll find out real quick if you're not supposed to be working there or not.
Is there like is there like a gang? Like other realtors come at you and be like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
That's exactly how it is. Just kidding.
No. I was a postal employee, man. So of course, I mean, when we used to do routes, the same thing. They used to say like, "Don't get out of your route." So if I was doing a certain route, and say for example, I wanted to go eat at Wendy's and it's across the street away from our route, like I couldn't go, bro. That's crazy, but
it is crazy.
It's just one of those.
You'd be surprised. There's some things here where some veteran agents, they'll have a whole neighborhood locked down. They're like, this is the neighborhood I've been working on years. And if you get on that turf, they will tell you something. And that's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's their money, so I get it, man. But yeah, that's kind of like that old school mentality, man. I guess I just don't want to let go. But of course, I mean, there's plenty to go around when it comes to houses. I mean, there's a lot of subdivision. Now, let me ask you this because I personally don't know. But when it comes to a subdivision, is that something that certain like realtors, like for yourself, I mean, is there like a group that goes in, or is it, how do you guys like get dibs on that?
And honestly, you're talking about like a new construction company?
Right. New area.
That's them on their own. So yeah, if you have a really close relationship with someone like that, they will kind of give you a leeway into like, yeah, you can list these homes and try to sell them quicker if you want to, kind of thing. But it's all relationship based. Besides that, they will tell you don't need an agent to go because you technically don't. It's just the fact that usually people don't realize that these people that work with builders are only working for the builder. They don't care about your interests. So that's why it's important to have someone to watch your back the entire time.
No, yeah, and of course there's paperwork too, because I mean I bought a home and there's things that you need to look at because it might sound good, but at the end you talk to them about long term, like, okay, you know what, this is so and so loan. I mean, it's going to be like 10 plus years, or I mean, I know there's ins and outs, and they explained it. Our realtor did a great job, man. So yeah, we still recommend them out there, and
that's good.
And one of those things where he did break down a lot of things for us,
Exactly.
I told us.
That's what I'm saying. The importance is like you just need someone to watch your back and make sure everything goes according to plan.
No, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, you guys, get a fee for that, but that's well worth it, man, because you guys do your homework. You guys know what you're talking about. I mean, when it comes to selling a house, I mean, I'm sure you take pride in that. It's not just something like, hey, you know what, let me make some money. I mean, you're actually, like you said,
exactly.
You get to meet know your customer and put them where what best fits them,
At least it's the way you should be taking care of it. It is your job and you're taking care of these people kind of thing. Of course, there's a lot of bad agents out there. That's why you stay away from, people like that.
Can we name names or no? No, I'm kidding. Let's not go there. I don't want to get canceled, bro. I might get jumped.
I'll get tired, I think.
Yeah, man, but I mean, of course, earlier you had talked about modeling. You did get on 2 pilots that you mentioned, but was that something that you were like in the back of your mind where you were like, you know what, I want to pursue this? I mean, was that still like a consideration?
Like now or back then?
Well, back then, I mean, because when you were those episodes didn't, come into fruition, so you were kind of like, damn, okay.
I was more, since when I was in LA, I was like, my whole intention was just doing that. Like, no matter what it took, I was going to give it 100%, see what's going to happen. And that's what I'm saying. When I got signed with the management company and everything, it was going well. Like I said, I was booking jobs and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is definitely something I can do.
Yeah.
and I will mention during that time, I don't know, it was weird because I was getting kind of deeper into the industry, and a lot of my own personal goals and a lot of different things had changed for me. So it was starting to get really, how do I explain it? Like I was getting deeper into it, and I was starting to see a lot of stuff I didn't like. So then started getting to a point where I was like, damn, I really wanted to do this. This is really going somewhere. However, is this what I'm going to be around all the time? Because I don't know how I feel about that kind of thing. So it was a lot of self-reflecting and a sense of questioning,
Right.
where I was going and what I was doing, because it was just a really weird time.
But let me say this because I have two kids, right? And my oldest at one point she was like, "Dad, I want to go to school. I want to be an architect." And she's like, "But also want to do something else, or I also want to do this." And my thing was like, "Well, you know what? Go with what's gonna make you money, so that way when you start working, you can have money to go and pursue something else.
Oh, yeah,
There's nothing in the books that said you got to do one thing forever. The rest of your life."
exactly.
And when I said that, I was like, "Damn, I took my own advice." I was like, "You know what? Let me do, keep working, because of course, I don't want to be a starving artist, but at the same time, I was like, I'm gonna pursue other things, other projects, just get out there and stay in the mix, help other. I mean, even now, like the filmmakers that are out there and allow me to go out there and get footage or jump in. I'm grateful.
Yeah, it's
But
good that you're like in you're feeding the community back. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. I think it's important to fulfill that pursuit of your spirit. Of course, do your normal job, obviously, for just basic needs. But I think life is too short to not feel that, like that spiritual yearning that you have to, like, I want to really go do this. Go
right.
do it. You know what I mean?
No, and of course, I mean, it leads us to that image that's up there, man. Vaqueros of Hawaii, brother. That's a film that Lions, Marcus Davila and Sabrina, of course, are working on. LionsAct Productions. It's going to be happening this late January, so of course I'm going to go with that. But you're going to be playing the lead role, man. So this is something, no pressure, but of course, when you were asked, I mean, what was the first thought, man? What were you thinking?
I was just like, oh shit. Because I get jumping from, like, I still do a bunch of commercial stuff in between. But it's commercials and leads to this. Like, this is kind of like the first time I'm ever playing like a lead in this, like, speaking role type job. And I'm just excited. I'm not worried. I'm just really
Yeah.
excited to see what I can bring to the table. You know what I mean?
No, and of course, I mean, there's a photo that I have picked up, man. But I mean, you grew up around horses. Let me ask you that.
The last time I've been on a horse was I was 14. So I definitely I'm hoping muscle memory kicks in. But no, I didn't grow up around horses. I was around them, but I didn't grow up around them.
Oh, okay, okay. And the reason I'm asking because you have this image out here, bro. So tell us about this horse, man. Where did you find this horse at?
It was just for a shoot. It was at someone's ranch. Her name's Yesenia. She's really awesome. It was shot at her ranch. I don't remember what the theme was, but I mean, there was horses there, and
Have a horse, right? First instinct, man.
I love horses. I swear, they're just like big dogs,
Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
I love dogs.
Yeah, I don't think I would ride a dog or even a horse, bro. I mean, I'd be afraid to fall off. But let me ask you. I mean, are you gonna be getting back on a horse? Because during the film, I think they requested a few actors to get on them. So is that gonna be one? Are you gonna be
I
one
mean,
of
yeah, if I have to, I'll do it. I don't care.
them? Man, and of course, when it comes to animals, bro, because I mean, I mentioned earlier, I grew up on the west side. For us
Mm.
growing up, I mean, there was neighbors that had chickens, that had goats. Nobody had a horse, of course, but it's just one of those things. I mean, I used to ride one. I've gotten on one twice, one with my kids when they were little, and then second time by myself. I went out there to I was delivering mail in Thousand Oaks at the time, and there was like a little ranch, bro, like a house. I stopped by there one day. I'm delivering mail, and I'm like, "Hey, what do you guys do here?" And
And they said you can get on.
yeah, like $45. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna, and I did. I jumped on one. I mean, it was fun. It's just I don't think I would ride one to work or back. It's just too much.
I did grow up with chickens a lot. We had a lot of chickens,
Yeah.
which
Oh
I
yeah.
still want to get into, like, now, even then, just raising your own, like, sustainability is, like, I think it's really important. And everybody wants to get land. You know how many people I have reached out? A lot of my friends are like, I want to get land. And I'm like, I don't think you realize how much it's increased
Yeah.
since the last 3 years.
No, yeah, man, and that's the thing too, because one of the houses that we moved into when we were in high school by Woodland Park, of all things, We rented the house, and the renter, she was like, "Oh yeah, the only thing is that the last person that left here, they had chickens. There's a chicken coop in the back, and they're still there." She said, "So y'all can get rid of them." And they lived with us for a few months, until one day my uncle was like, "Hey, I'll take them." So he went, and I think that's what they had for Thanksgiving. Honestly, I don't know what they did, but yeah, we grew up around them. It's just not something I don't see myself doing. Like I said, we have dogs here and turtles and everything else, so I'm okay with that.
That's funny. I even have one dog, and I love him to death. So
Nice, bro. And of course, now, I mean, what side of town are you living at now?
medical center,
Oh, okay. And of course, apartment or a townhome?
townhome.
I'm not trying to sell you a house, by the way, but just no, I was just asking about because of the dog. I mean, I know a lot of times with apartments or
Oh my God, you don't even know. When we were doing apartment, like, because German Shepherds are like on the list of vicious dogs, which is insane. And then there's obviously a weight, and he's like 150 pounds. So it's like, it was just so hard to find any place for
you see, it's too bad it wasn't a boxer. You could make him cut weight. Bad
him.
joke, by the way, but but what is the weight? I didn't even know that.
I don't know what the weight limit is. I think it's like over 90 pounds, I think.
Oh, damn.
90, 95 pounds. It's like, that's when they start questioning, like, okay, well, does your dog have shots? Is it safe to be around him?
Oh, okay. No, yeah, and of course. I mean, we have a bully pit, and that boy's like 135 the last time we weighed him, man. It's a big boy, but
It's a big boy, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, but yeah, man. Let me ask you, of course, for this film, this is something that you're gonna schedule. I mean, of course, with your work now, so you're gonna be working around. I believe they said for the most part the weekends, right? We're gonna be filming.
Yes, if I remember correctly, which should be fine. I mean, I have so much but I love about my schedule is like, yeah, it's super duper, and what's the word, unpredictable, because you just never know what's going to happen with clients. But however, for the most part, I have complete, control of my schedule to do what I got to do.
And I think we had Marcus dropping this real quick. It's a Turkey Creek Stables is one of them, I guess, to go and ride a horse. So
Oh,
I'll,
that's cool.
I'll look
Never
into
heard
that.
of it. Yeah.
But yeah, man. But I mean, the film. I mean, your friends and family. I mean, you've told them about it already. I mean, what were they saying? What were their thoughts? What were they thinking?
Nobody knows except for my mom and my girlfriend as of now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is there a reason for that?
No, I just don't really go out anymore, so I don't get to see my friends as often.
They're like, "What you been up to?" Oh, yeah, starting in films. The
Yeah,
usual.
no big deal. No, but definitely. I mean, like I said, dude, my lifestyle has changed completely. Like, I legit just work now, basically. Um, However, it just doesn't come across. And plus, a lot of my friends who have known me for dating in the modeling world for a long time, they just never cared. So there's also that.
It's a doggy dog world. They're worried about themselves, man. They're like, man, whatever, bro. Keep going. And modeling, man, is that something that I mean you're still pursuing, or are you done with that?
I don't know. Like, after California and everything had happened, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. But I was coming off more of a personal affliction, I guess. And then I started slowly, as things were coming back here. I was like, I would start getting jobs again. I was like, I'm just gonna do it for fun. And then I remembered I just loved meeting people, especially like I've met the most coolest, most genuine people doing like stuff like this. And so now, like, yeah, I'll just do it for fun or for connections or networking. If I had the opportunity for it to go, I guess like full on, that's where I guess I have to sit down and like really think about it again.
No, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, jumping on this film. I mean, just like everything else, it's going to create opportunity. So you never know. Somebody might be watching and be like, "We need this guy. Take him to Hollywood, man. Be back in."
I do think everything is just opportunity. I mean, the way I even got on this thing is my girlfriend knows somebody from work. We call her aunt because they basically are family.
Yeah.
We just went to like a little get together, and she was like, "Oh, I have my friend, and he's also an actor. He's an older guy." And I was like, "Yeah, I would love to talk to him." We end up talking, just shooting the shit, and then he was like, "You know what? We're doing this. I'm gonna send him a photo, and now we're here." So that's just like, random occurrence.
No, for sure. You see, and that's the thing too, as far as the film community, because a lot of people know everybody. They know everybody knows everybody. The fact that I love going to the feature premieres. You know, Even this past weekend, I did some behind the scenes shots. But I mean, it's I met a lot of great people, man, from Austin. I watched up life. I mean, here in San
Oh
Antonio.
yeah.
and it's just it's great because you never know. Somebody might need something or create an opportunity somewhere. But I did want to ask you. You speak Spanish?
I understand it, which is like basically useless. But I can read it, write it. I can speak it. It's just I'm not gonna have like an intellectual conversation. It's very Tex-Mex.
No, it's the same here, bro. I mean, I grew up. It was my primary language when I grew up, but it was mostly because I didn't go to pre-K. I went to first grade, and at home, watching novelas with my mom all day, man. I just picked it up. I was talking like one of those what do you call them? Deporteros for a while. It just sounded like. But yeah, man. But I was just curious because I mean, myself, like I do some voiceovers, so I mean, I'm definitely looking
Oh,
at
that's cool.
doing that, and it's just like I said, opportunities, man. I mean, there's a lot, and I want to start doing some in Spanish. But I was just curious about yourself because I said, man, I mean, you have a pretty deep voice. So I'm thinking, man, I wonder if that's an outlet. Of course in English as well. But I just figured if you spoke Spanish, that'd be pretty dope.
I've definitely been learning more just because there's a lot of times it's so funny in our office because we have a huge team, and there's always somebody that's like, who can speak Spanish? Who can speak Spanish? And I'm like, bro, we're all Hispanic, like. And I'm like, you know what? This is embarrassing. I need to get on my like Spanish train. So I've been definitely working on it a lot more.
Yeah. No, yeah. You see, and that's the thing. My whole life, like my siblings, for the most part, they they can speak in Spanish as well, man. I mean, a lot of it is Tex-Mex. For me, like I mentioned earlier, I worked at Academy Sports, and nobody there spoke Spanish, bro. Like throughout the years, man, it'd be like rare, So every time, we used to have nationals, what we used to call, people from Mexico, and that's a good term, of course, because. Yeah, they would always call me like, "Hey, Mark, you speak Spanish, right? I have a customer over here," and I'm like, I'll walk over there and I'm like, "Hey, ¿cómo les puedo ayudar?" And they're like, "Oh, anda buscando el baño," and I'm like, over there, I'm like, dude, you called me all the way out here for this, But it's just something I guess even my kids. I mean, they spoke it for a while. They don't speak it as much
That's
now.
good. No, that's good, especially when I feel like when you can't talk to somebody, you're just closing off more opportunities that you didn't even know would be there to begin with.
Oh yeah, I mean, you never. I mean, being a realtor, man, you might close a deal one day just because you speak Spanish.
Especially that, yeah.
Like sold, boom. But I mean, with that being said, man, I mean, is that something you're pursuing? Do you speak any other languages? Let me ask you that.
I mean, I learned a little bit of French and Italian. It's like, nah, it's not gonna go,
It's still Tex-Mex.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When I was learning though, I was like, dude, I should stop trying to learn this whole. I was like, I don't even know Spanish. Like, let's focus on Spanish first, get that down, and then we'll do all the other crazy ones.
Somebody I know, I took French in high school when I went to Kennedy, man. I took it for half a semester, and voulez-vous français is the only thing I know. Other than that, I don't know anything. I don't remember anything. But people were always like, "Oh, it's easier to learn the Spanish," and I'm like, I don't see how that's possible, man.
I don't see that's possible either.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke Spanish, so I was like, I'm good. But yeah, I wish I would have picked up on other languages. Doing Brazilian too. My instructors back when were Brazilian, and a few terms here and there, but nothing that would stick. I wouldn't be able to go to Sao Paulo. I'd probably get killed, bro. Say the wrong
If you
thing.
read Italian, you would be surprised how many words you understand because it just sounds so similar. Well, I guess because it's all part of that Latin.
Oh, that dialect, yeah. No, definitely, man. I will say this though. At one point, I was affiliated with Carlson Gracie Sr., and I'll say this on video.
Oh, that's cool.
But the first time I called this school in Chicago. He was coming in for a seminar, and I just called. I was like, you know what? Let me see who answers. So I called the gym, and I'm talking to some lady, and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for Master Carlson Gracie Sr., right? And she's like, oh yeah, hold on, and I'm like, so he gives me the phone, and like, hello, and I was like, what the heck, dude? Like, it's surprising, right? But I was like, yeah, Mario Alberto, I'm here in San Antonio, and you're coming for a seminar. I said, and he's like, oh yeah, Mario. He's like, Mario, hablas español. And I'm like, see? Oh, okay. And he starts to do full on Spanish, and I was like, you speak Spanish? And he's like, yeah. Brazil, North Brazil, Spanish, bro, Spanish, Portuguese. And I was like,
that's really cool though for you to be able to talk to him like that.
He spoke better Spanish than me, bro. So that was pretty bad. but that was pretty cool. It's just a little fun fact, I would have never guessed. But yeah, Brazil, man. That's one place I've never been to. I mean, I wish I would have had two opportunities to go and I didn't take them. So, regrets. But yourself, man. I mean, what is it other than this film? Because of course it's going to be in production next year. As far as January. But what are you looking at for the new year for yourself?
Just a lot more traveling on my end. I just want to get out of getting out of the city's cool, but I really want to focus on just getting out of the country more.
Okay.
At least that's I know my bigger plan for I guess myself, especially with like numbers and stuff like that. That I want to do better with work and everything. I want to help more people, so it's just like trying to or intending, just having better intentions with my time and stuff like that. And of course, the people I'm around, it's like they always say you're going to be just like the 5 people you're around with the most. And I'm like, you know what, I got to be really intentional on what I do with my timing.
Nice. That makes sense.
So,
I never thought about that, but yeah, it's like if you're not around people that are growing, then yeah, you're gonna plateau and just
yeah,
stay.
exactly. And I don't want that. Like,
No,
life is way too short to just not grow to your full potential. Whatever you can be, whatever that is.
no, you see, and I'm the same way. For the most part, like a lot of my family, I mean, they're content with being what they're doing, and it's fine. I mean, it works
It's
for
just
them.
fine.
For me, I'm like, I need something. I need a challenge every day. I need something that's gonna motivate me and want to push me to do something. Because other than that, it's just
I was gonna say, don't get me wrong. If you're happy, then you're happy. I don't care whatever it is. You do whatever makes you happy. That's the whole point. You know what I
right.
mean?
No, and there was a quote, and I kind of forgot, but it says, you can't have a millionaire mentality with being around. I forgot how it goes, man, but it's just basically the same thing. It's just like if you're around minimum wage, like you're not going to be thinking the same as a millionaire, and that's kind of like where it
Yeah.
goes to. It's like you got to set the bar high. So that's pretty cool, man.
I think that's one of the things I do appreciate about being in the industry in California is like, yeah, I didn't like what I was around, but it did get me indoors with or rubbing shoulders with really successful people, and that definitely was shifting my perspective a lot. You know what I mean?
Nice, bro. You see, and I've been around a lot of people with money, and one of the things I think one time I asked this one guy, he actually owned a lot of properties here in San Antonio, and he was just like, he didn't own the buildings, but he was just leasing like the properties. He was just like, man, I've got, you know, money everywhere. But I was talking to him about business because I said, man, well, how do you go about doing this? And he said, I'll tell you the first thing. He said, in business, he said, you never use your own money.
Yeah.
He said, you always, the idea you have, you get other people to invest in it, and you keep going. And I was like, damn. I said, okay, makes sense, But that's about the only thing that stuck with me, man.
Which is a really important thing. I think a lot of people don't realize like you can get into the investment game with no money.
Yeah, no, yeah.
However, like you need to be knowledgeable in what you're talking about because you got to be bringing something to the table. If you're not gonna bring any money, you got to bring something. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, and that's one of the things that I realized. I mean, I'm still involved in combat sports. I do manage. I have managed fighters. I've taught.
That's so cool.
But talking to sponsors, that's one of the things that it's like. I think at one time one of the sponsors was like, "Oh, well, I'm going to give him this money, this much money. Like, how many shorts is he going to sell?" And I was like, "Crap, okay." Like, and those are the questions that I didn't know the answer to, right? But I mean, that's one of the things that return investment. I mean, this is something. Obviously, it's a business, so they want to make their money back, but something that I picked up and learned quick. So I started doing numbers and crunching as far as like,
There
okay,
you go. Yeah.
this is what we do. This is what we can do. This is how we can market it. Sponsor placement, product placement, and all that good stuff. So
I
it's a
think
lot
that's the thing. If the numbers look good, like then yeah, you'll get money. You know what I mean?
no, definitely, man. Now let me ask you, as far as selling houses, bro. I mean, funniest story you got, man. What's something that happened when you were out there? You're selling the wrong house. I mean, tell us something.
Well, for sure, with all the new developments that are starting up, that happens a lot where you're gonna meet at a house somewhere and it's all just grass or it's all green on the map and you're like, this makes no sense. So then you have to go and manually on foot go look for the house that is specific because it's just too new. GPS is gonna take time to update everything. There was once where I fell down through a stair. It was just rickety stairs. I felt like maybe a floor.
What the world?
And now I'm just more conscious of where I'm walking. I was like, you see a lot of crazy shit, like in some houses that just make you feel some type of way. Like there was one house I was looking at with a guy, and he was like, "Hey, they're selling down the street, but it's like pennies compared to this one. It's the exact same house. I wonder why." And I was like, "Yeah, we can go check it out, man. Whatever." As soon as we walked in, dude, there was just this darkness to it.
Temperature drops. You're like, holy.
Yeah, and he was like, "Do you feel that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "We should get out of here." And I was like, "Dude, for real." That was just
Oh damn, y'all both felt it.
Yeah, we both felt it. It
Oh,
was just
wow,
weird. We
okay.
got the hell out of there. That's what I'm saying. I was like, it probably explains why it's so damn cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, they hadn't moved out yet. Goes,
Yeah, for
Man,
yeah.
I
I
was
mean,
gonna say, you brought up the whole map because I mean, when I was a letter carrier, like we were still using paper maps. We were out there like pirates, trying to
that's
find the
wild.
houses, bro. And the fact that these houses, like you said, a lot of them aren't on Google because you get out there and you're like, okay, it's like 45 degrees this way. Like, let me just see if I run into it, man. But I can see how you guys get lost out there. I get lost there all the time, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy.
I can't even imagine our generation. I guess my generation's like, what happens if GPS just goes away? Like, bro, I don't know how to read a map.
You're gonna be
Like,
like, I guess this is where we're living. That's it.
what's wild.
No, for sure, man. And of course, when it comes to this film, man, is there something that you're working on? I mean, of course, are you gonna grow a beard? Are you gonna grow a mustache? What's going on?
I don't know. He hasn't told me anything about that, but I will say most of the time when I have a job and they want me to grow my facial hair out, I always tell them like, "Hey, I can't grow a beard, dude. Like, I don't have that gene."
Yeah.
Like, I tried growing a mustache for a year. Everybody hated it, especially my mom. I liked it, whatever, but it's not like full. You know what I mean? So most
Man,
of the time they'll be like, you know what, just bareface, and I'm like, yeah, I figured.
yeah, done. Works. No, I know, man. I think after high school, man, I started growing mine, and I actually grew it when I went to the post office. I worked with this one guy. He was Indian, but he had a big set, like a beard, bro. Like I was like, damn, I want to grow mine. And I was able to grow it. I didn't know. I was like, oh shit, I can grow a beard. Cool, man. But
That's
now
pretty
it's got a
legit.
lot of gray, so now I'm trying to like hide it. But
I think it looks
anyway,
good on beards. Like gray and beards looks cool.
I love man. Because for the most part, man, I got a patch, and
Right?
my kids are like, Dad, are you dyeing that? And I'm like, why would I dye a patch? Like it doesn't make any sense,
Why
But
would I do that?
but yeah, man. I'm it's just get older, so of course we're just gonna keep going. But yeah, man. But of course, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be involved in the film as well, so I look forward to working and seeing you work. While you guys are working and we're not in the
That's
scene.
awesome. What are you gonna be doing on the film?
I'm probably going to be feeding the horses, honestly, bro. I don't know. We'll find out, man. No, if anything, I'll probably be an extra, bro. Like, I mean, I've done a lot of extra work, and it's just
Hmm.
I like it because not to put any pressure on you, but I don't have to memorize lines, so I'll be like, all right, whatever he said, just keep going.
No,
But
that
it'll
is
be
cool though. I
great.
didn't know that. That's sick.
I'm sorry.
I said that's cool. I didn't know that.
No, yeah, man. I'm gonna be out there, and I know we had a Zoom meeting like a week ago, I believe, and a lot of people in the industry already that are gonna be on board. So it's always cool because the chemistry's there, and that's one of the things. I mean, I review movies on YouTube, man, and it's just one of the things I look for is that chemistry. Like,
Hmm.
if I know the actors that worked together in the previous film, I'm like, dude, it's gonna be good. And sure enough, the way they interact and talk and carry on, it's like okay, like
I
they
see
know
what
each
you
other,
mean. Yeah.
you know. So that's why I mean, for the most part, I think that would probably be the easiest thing for you to do is just kind of get comfortable with everybody and just once you drop that your guard, I guess in a sense, just kind of go with it, have fun.
I gotcha. I totally agree.
And commercials, man. I mean, you did bring those earlier. I mean, are you still doing them? I know social media. I mean, I mentioned that before we started this, and it's something that you do to promote and promote yourself and what you do. So, are you comfortable? Would you say in front of the camera?
I would say yeah. Speaking right in front of it, I'm still like, I mean, I don't care, but I could probably be better. Which is funny because when I was in the modeling industry heavily, they would always say it's like you got to use social media to promote, promote, promote. And I just never been a fan of social media. I think it's bad for you. Whatever. I get it. It helps. So then I'm like, you know what? It does help you grow. I mean, that's just the world we live in. So then I was focusing on that. And then when I was getting out of that, transitioning out of that, I get into real estate. And I was like, oh, I could finally take a break off social media. And guess what? They're like, no, that's going to be your number one thing. And I was like, which is fine. I mean, I've met a lot of amazing people only through that. There's no possible way I could have ever met them to begin with. But yeah, it's staying consistent for sure on social media, which
And when it comes to platforms, because you are on Facebook and you have a page, so it's not a personal, but people can actually follow you on there. But what other platforms can they follow you on?
it's just my Instagram, Facebook, and that's pretty much it. I was like, why am I thinking about a third one? That's all I use. I mean, I guess TikTok, but I just like looking at TikTok for crazy stuff.
No, entertainment value, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And I was like, I just try to get on it like once a week. 'Cause, dude, that thing will literally keep you on for like 4 hours if you don't pay attention.
Yeah, I think I'm on there. I think I put the movie trailer reviews on there. I just
Oh,
wanted
that's
to
cool.
do something. But when I first got on there, I was like, holy crap! Like I was like, dude, it explains a lot. Like in life, meeting younger, not for me younger. I guess as far as that work in retail, it explained a lot because I was like, man, like people, they're so they get lost in social media to where it's like a different person that they don't take into consideration that what there's a real person behind that camera, man. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I mean, if you shoot at it, it's gonna, kill somebody. I mean, you got to be careful. But it's just, but yeah, I'll say that it explained a lot, man. So I said, oh, okay, I see. The attention span was one of them. I realized that people don't want to sit there for like 2 hours watching something that's short clips. The faster, the better. If you can get something in within 30
Yeah,
seconds,
exactly.
point, it's like boom, it gets hits like thousands, bro. So I was like, oh wow.
Bro, I can't even imagine like the kids now, or like the 5-year-olds or whatever that are just raised on social media stuff. I'm like, bro, what is that gonna turn into?
Yeah, no, yeah, bro. Not growing up, but I mean, my oldest had a phone before I did, and she actually had an iPhone. Her mom got her this phone.
Mm.
One day, I was like, hey, you know what? We're separated, so I picked them up for the weekend, and I was like, let's go to Aquarius Springs. I went there as a kid, so we're driving out there, and I'm like trying to remember. I'm looking at the signs, and I'm like, damn, I was behind. And my oldest is like, oh, Dad, it's gonna be coming up on so and so. You make a left, and then you turn right. And I was like, what the? And I was like,
Like,
how do you know this? I said, you been there? She's like, no, my phone. And I was like, what do you mean your phone? And she's like, yeah, Google Maps. And I was like, what the hell is Google Maps? Like, I was like, what the dude? Like, it blew my mind. Like, I was like, it's on your phone. I was like, holy crap. Like, that's how out of
it's just
step
the
I
way it's
was.
gonna be. I remember I had a flip phone when I was 13. It was like the thick cricket phone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think they're coming back. Nostalgic, man. I think.
I think you're right. Honestly, we're always just gonna return to something.
No, yeah. Yeah. As long as they don't bring back those Genko jeans, we'll be good, man. No, bro. But of course, man. I mean, like I said, dude, this film, it's going to be happening, man. For those that are watching, Vaqueros of Hawaii. I mean, they are on Facebook. LionsAct Productions, of course, they are on Instagram, Facebook as well. For more information and for them to follow up, they can definitely check out those links, those pages, and just follow. And like you mentioned earlier, I mean, I don't know. I mean, on Facebook, like I said, it is a page. It is a work page when it comes to being a realtor. So I don't know if you want people following you there, but are you thinking about maybe starting a page for your art? I guess you can say.
Probably not, because in the beginning, when I had a choice to split the two with that, I said no, because I want to keep everything as personal as possible. And then when real estate came, I had another choice of splitting. So I was like, no, I want everybody to see everything.
Yeah. No, and I agree. I mean, for the most part, I think mine started personal, and it just got to where I was like, I don't post anything personal on there. It's just as far as what I'm doing and where I'm at. But when it comes to life, I'm like, it's kind of like my home, man. I told people, it's like I don't invite people out here. Sorry, Marcus, but it's more like it's my sanctuary. So I'm like, you know what? I just want to come home and not worry about people knocking on my door because for some reason that triggers me. I don't know why. My neighbor does
No, I
that.
get that
I hate
100%.
it. And I'm like, if I don't know you're coming, man, don't knock. But but it's just the world we live in, man. But of course, you mentioned the housing, bro. I mean, when it came to that one house, and there was something there. I mean, have you ever seen anything? Let me ask you that. I mean, have you ever been somewhere and you're like, okay, you couldn't explain what happened?
I mean, I've seen what are those people called? Like it's a lot of homeless stuff that you see people stick in other people's houses where the person didn't even know they were in their house the entire time. I
Oh
swear,
wow, bro!
I've
Wow.
seen. I swear, I probably saw a kneecap once, like just on the ground, and I was like, bro, that looks like a person's leg. Like, there's just a lot of questionable things
Yeah.
that that you're going to be seeing and running into, especially the old investment properties that just been sitting there forever. Um, I don't know, it just kind of brings you, especially, or even when you're out of town. Like when I was in Seguin and New Braunfels a lot, you will go and see a property that's all the way out there. You have no reception, there's no light, and you just got to be safe. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing. I mean, of course, man. I think when we moved into this house, we actually had somebody come and bless it because I was like, okay, I don't know what happened here, but
Oh,
there's
shit.
something here. Let's get it out, man, because otherwise they're gonna be paying mortgage. But my man, bro, I appreciate you jumping on here, man. It was a pleasure. I mean, I'm glad you you were able to roll with the punches and make this fun. For those, of course, like I said, you're going to be taking part in Vaqueros of Hawaii. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm
Marcus,
excited.
and Sabrina are doing great with LionsAct Productions, and they do a lot, man. So I'm definitely a big supporter of them, and like I said, I'm looking forward to watching you work, man. It's gonna be a pleasure.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm glad we get to work together as well.
No, for sure, brother. Anything you want to say before we wrap this up, bro?
If you know anybody's looking to sell your house, call me. Just kidding.
Actually, I might know somebody, man. So I'll let you know after we log off, bro. But yeah, man. I thank you, brother. Everybody out there, of course. Once again, this is Spider Coming Soon Podcast. Martin Trejo. Till next time, follow up.
Bye, guys.